Yo, it's your boy ronnbizzy, and welcome to the second episode of the Helpdesk podcast, where I speak to my friends who are quite creative. They're on all types of social media platforms, and my guests for today are Andy and Ronnie, who not only are creative, but they are also have that entrepreneur mindset where they've got side hustles. And so Ronnie is a YouTuber, and he had a niche around electric skateboards, doing all kinds of longboard tricks, which I believe got him popular. One of his videos hit over 1 million views, which was his $5 penny board. And funnily enough, he got his friend who was a bodybuilder to try and destroy that board, and he was not successful. So $5 penny board wins. Check out that video. I'll link that down below. We've got Andy, full frame DC. Just got a new camera, the A7R3.
A7R3.
Damn, flexing. And Andy used to do vlogs. His B-roll is pretty damn insane. Think Casey Neistat, Peter McKinnon, maybe not as high on that level, but that same sort of style, that vlogging kind of B-roll transition, all that kind of stuff. Hey man, I respect it, bro. I respect it. I think it's good. So, was that a good intro, guys? Was that a good way to describe you?
We started?
That was good. Yeah.
This is beautiful.
Was there anything I missed? Feel free to plug yourself right now, guys.
Ronnie has a net worth of $5 million.
According to the internet.
That is true.
I can't
You are
find
also
that
single.
money, but that's also true. But I did go to Disney recently with my sweetheart or whatever it said.
So, again, yes, Ronnie's net worth is $5 million. So we're speaking to a millionaire, everybody. How about that? So the internet is full of some fun and quirky things like, who even wrote that?
I have no idea. All I know is that I am so far away from that number.
Hey man,
Here's
you know what?
5 billion, here's 0. I'm way closer to 0.
Hey bro, just gotta keep that grind up, and that's what we're gonna be talking about. So
Someone gets paid to write that.
Really?
Oh, I'll do that kind of BS for money.
Yeah, I would too. For $5 million.
Oh man,
I just have to find someone with a couple of followers on YouTube or Instagram, or put them on some famous birthdays type thing. I'll make up whatever.
All right, so let's get on to how I actually met these two. The long-winded story was, I think about 2016 or 2017. I was currently unemployed. I just got back from London, moved to Sydney, and I was just on YouTube a lot. I stumbled across Sarah Dici, Rhymes with Peachy, and I saw one of her videos, funnily enough, how to vlog like Casey Neistat, I think it was. And then from there, I just went down this massive rabbit hole of vloggers and then eventually electric skateboarding. And from there, that's where I found Ronnie. And then from Ronnie's videos, I think Andy would come help in those videos. I'm like, dude, these guys are so funny. And Andy has a YouTube channel as well. I followed him. I was actually going deep into his videos last night. And I was seeing that. I even commented like 2 years ago. I'm like, hey, good video, bro. Keep making more. So,
Wait. Did he make more, though? Did he make more?
Actually, he stopped at the wedding venue, I think. After the wedding venue, I didn't see any other videos.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to
That was a
document
really
the
good
whole
series.
process. I was like there taking notes, bro.
Oh, no. There were 2 more of those wedding vlogs.
The resizing of the ring.
There was the No. Okay, so there was the venue one, and then there was me introducing my bridesmaids and groomsmen.
I actually didn't get up to
one
that.
of the engagement shoot.
Yeah,
and then that's
I did
where
say
it
that.
stopped.
Yeah.
And let me tell you why it stopped.
Yeah, please. I'm
Because
curious.
wedding planning is the worst. Can I curse on here?
Oh, yeah, of course.
It fucking sucks. Don't get married.
I
mean,
can imagine
you
it's
can
too
get married,
stressful.
but like go to like court or something. Don't do what we
Dude, they're
did.
expensive, man. Like, weddings aren't cheap. Well, right now they would be because you're not allowed to have that many guests. So maybe right now's a
true.
good time. Oh, also shoutouts to Stay Stoked merch.
Hey.
Hey,
That's what's up.
do you still have the shop open? You got some new merch coming out, right, Ronnie? You guys are
I
working on
do.
something together?
Yeah. Andy helped me design one based around a one wheel.
Yep.
And that design's up on the shop right now. I was actually supposed to get my samples. I could have worn it today,
Mhm.
but when I filled out the shipping info, I didn't put my apartment number, so it
Ouch.
was undeliverable.
Dang, that
It's gonna get sent
sucks.
back.
That oh man.
Pretty
Oh
bummed.
well. Whenever it comes in, no matter what, I'll have the link in the description down below, so you guys can go check that out and hopefully cop something, some hype beast material. All right. So, like I mentioned earlier, Ronnie's a YouTuber, and let's go to my key points here. You know, I guess we just got to start from the very beginning. Why did you start making videos, the both of you? Andy, go first. I guess A is the start of the alphabet.
Sure. So actually, so the YouTube channel that you went through, that is not my first YouTube channel.
Oh,
I had a larger YouTube channel, and by large I don't mean large by like today's standards at all. And I mostly posted like covers of songs, and that was kind of back in like the older YouTube days where
for
it
sure.
wasn't so saturated, so it was really easy for anyone, pretty much anyone, like if you posted consistently to gain traction. And then I stopped posting on that channel for two reasons. One, I forgot the password. And two, when I got the password, I learned that my Gmail account at the time, because you had to link to Gmail with YouTube, was not eligible for monetization. And
Why?
it used to be. So I was like, I have no idea. I've tried to appeal it maybe like 20 times now, and it's always been
It might have been because of the music.
Yeah.
maybe. It might be. I don't know. But so I decided just, screw it. Let's just start from scratch, and here we are.
Well, to be fair, I think you've gone past YouTube now. I mean, I've seen the edits that you're doing on Full Frame DC, and like that. I think it was that clothing line that you did on your YouTube channel. It was one of your most recent.
Yeah. That was actually for a shoot of a fashion designer that reached out and did a lot of like traditional Indonesian Muslim apparel.
Yeah.
So she wanted her outfits showcased, so I worked with the model, and we got that kind of put together, and did a little shoot for her 2018 line. That was a lot of fun. That was my first real professional shoot.
Hey, it looked good too. It was on point.
Thanks.
So Ronnie, and you, what was your story on how you began this YouTube journey?
Like Andy, the channel that I have right now is not my first YouTube channel. I've probably had like 6 altogether now. I know that like when YouTube first started, I would use it to like watch TV shows like anime or something.
Like One
I
Tree
would
Hill.
just like
used to
look
watch
up.
One Tree Hill.
I'd look at like whatever show full episode on YouTube, and that's how I try and watch shows. And then like YouTube was so weird back then. You could find like weird like lip sync videos that
My
made on
cousin
like
did.
people's webcams
Yeah.
that would get like maybe like what 50,000 views, and that was a lot.
Yeah,
That
bro.
was a lot back then, and I feel like I have at least 1 or 2 of those videos when I was like 12 or 13 or something.
Damn.
I cannot find it. I don't know what the username is. I don't know how I signed up for a YouTube account. But the first one I can remember is another channel. It's 2010 maybe, or 9? No, 2008 or 9, something like that. I would just film me and my friends going skateboarding. And of course, like, when you go skateboard, you like to film, and YouTube just so happened to be a place where you could put up videos, and it just worked perfectly. I would just upload edits that I would make with me and my friends, and eventually I made a channel. Originally, the channel I have now is just my name, but before that, it was called Longbeard VA.
I saw.
Because me and a bunch of
saw
homies in growing up in Virginia Beach would longboard, and because we're stupid, instead of calling it longboard, we just made it Longbeard, and we live in Virginia, so Longbeard VA.
It makes
And
sense to
we
me,
would-
bro.
Exactly, and we would just make stupid videos involving like gorilla suits, chocolate pudding. I mean, it's like if you look back, some stuff on there is horrible. You cannot watch it. It would not fly 2020. But we were just having fun, and throughout like college or anything, I would never take it seriously. I would just make videos whenever I wanted, and found that there were some videos that worked well and some videos that didn't. Like specifically when it came to longboarding,
Yep.
longboard tutorials were really popular. A lot of people wanted to watch how-to videos. So a good portion of the videos I made on that channel at the time were how to do certain tricks on a longboard, which gained a lot of popularity on YouTube. And I think it grew the channel to probably about 5,000, going from 0 to 5,000, not knowing anything. I think that was like, I was pretty happy with that. Like, I remember when we got our first 100 subscribers, I thought it was so exciting. And then it's different now. It's not exactly longboarding because in the past couple of years I started to take YouTube a bit more seriously, and I found the niche of electric skateboarding. Like you, I'd watch the vloggers, Casey, Sarah, and every time they would vlog, they would be on a boosted board riding through New York City, and it was just the coolest thing in the world to watch. And I was like, I got to get my hands on one of those, but they're way too expensive. So I emailed a bunch of companies saying, hey, I can make a cool skate video with one of your products. Can you please send me one? Please, 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 please. And then eventually I got one. I made a video on it. Andy actually helped me with the first board.
Shout out
we
to
were
Andy.
both riding it.
Board?
It was the Meepo board, and it was way faster than we thought, and it was crazy. It was a whole different experience. It was so scary. We didn't have a helmet or pads or anything because we didn't know like any of that stuff. We never really wore that, but
I don't know what safety is.
Yeah, we were just daredevils. And yeah, that video did well. Another company reached out saying, hey, we saw that, we want to send you a board. Another company wanted to send me a board, and then it snowballed into where my channel is today.
Dude, actually, you got me so close to buying a Meepo board. I wasn't 100% convinced yet. The only thing that I didn't like was it had that generic kind of electric skateboard look, and as cool, as functional as having that handle was, and I felt like there wasn't any stays in it. But shout out to Kieran. I really wouldn't mind having a Meepo board. They're actually pretty dope in my eyes. Very affordable and very accessible to everyone around the world.
They look slick now. They don't look like how they used to look a few years ago.
Yeah, definitely. But let's talk about how you capitalize on trends and how YouTube videos were about how-tos, because YouTube now, I said this in my previous podcast, it's the second biggest search engine on the whole interwebs, right?
Only thing bigger is Google, and they own YouTube, so
exactly, you know. So you would capitalize
E-Bombs World.
Oh, dude, that is old. Yo, shout out to E-Bombs World. That was the best back in the day, man.
That's the OG YouTube.
Yeah, it's like now if you want to quote unquote blow up, because again, this is the Helpdesk podcast, so we're trying to help people out, give tips. It's all about like trying to jump on top of those trends, like whatever's new, trying to make a video as quick as you can. And to be honest, the quality doesn't have to be there. I think we discussed this earlier, guys. It's just you have to answer whatever question it is that they're looking for, right? Yeah, what happened?
I just a crazy dog in my hallway.
No, that's all right. I was like, did I say something wrong?
No, I think he wants to hop on the help desk.
Oh, right. Well, hey,
should I get him in?
Dude, we love dogs. Bring out Elfie.
Let me see if he wants it. He said he's good.
But I mean, question to the both of you. I mean, what specifically do you think would help any new YouTuber right now? Like let's just say they're a kid in high school. You know, they're looking for gear or whatever. What would be your starting point for them? Or if you were to go back and tell yourself, I don't know what's going on today. Anyways, so my question was, if you were to go back and tell yourself how to start making YouTube videos, what would be like 2 to 3 tips? Or not just YouTube videos, or just like content in general. I think more, it doesn't specifically have to be YouTube, but like there's so many other platforms where you can share your content. So what would be like just 2 to 3? Like obviously getting started would be one of them. Just don't care about getting caught up in things being perfect. Well, that would be my tip.
I would just say, like, find something that you like to do, and see if you can capitalize on that, and then make a video out of it. And if it works out, if that one video works out, and by workout I mean like if you enjoyed like making that video while you're doing that thing that you love, whether it be singing, skateboarding, whatever it is, then you can keep doing it because it's hard to like kind of say like nowadays where a lot of people will go on YouTube with the hopes of like being able to monetize their videos and like get big, but like you won't really get anywhere if if that's what your main goal
If your
is.
aspiration is just money.
Right. So if you just like
Enjoy
I think
it.
if you have like a true passion in what you're doing, and then you just enjoy doing it, I think it'll come naturally, and it'll come when it comes. Just don't have any sort of like financial expectation or whatever it is. Yeah, just do it. Just do it. Just start.
And piggybacking off of what Andy says about finding something you love, if there is something that you do consistently already without a camera, like let's say, Ron, I know you're an avid cyclist. That's something you would do whether the camera was on or off. So having a camera on would mean that it'd be very accessible to make videos because it's something you're already doing. It's something you enjoy to do. And I would say that you have to at least kind of enjoy the process of making videos, because it can be as easy as turning the camera on and literally just pointing it everywhere. It depends on the type of content that you want to make. But basically, there has to be some sort of passion and enjoyment, like Andy says, in whatever you're doing. Otherwise,
You'll burn out.
what's
as well,
the point?
Right? Like,
what are you doing it for if you're not having fun?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, back, I don't know, it was maybe like 2008, in the pinnacle of just like YouTube is just making funny videos and you'd get paid to do that, right? I mean, shout out to my cousin Kevin, he was doing those lip sync videos, and then, dude, he got millions of views. He, at one point, Miley Cyrus contacted him and his friend Gerald and was like, hey, can you guys make it out to LA so we can do a collab video? I was like,
That's amazing.
The power of the internet is just crazy. And Kevin, I will be getting you on the podcast. Don't worry about that. But yeah, I mean, let's talk about niches. So do you think that you have to have a niche to be successful in whatever social media platform it is these days?
I think that niching down and being really targeted with your content just makes it exponentially easier to find success.
Yeah.
Because if you're a small, I was thinking about this earlier about like stores. If you're like a small general corner store down the street that no one's ever heard of, and then across the street there's Walmart that also has a general store, it's everything. I'd rather go to Walmart because I don't know anything about this thing that's trying to sell me anything and everything. And if you don't niche down, what is the saying that they say? Riches are in the niches.
Well,
Riches are in the niches.
Was it Jack of all trades, master of none?
Yeah, that too.
I haven't heard your one before, but that one makes sense
I
to me.
would say, I think if you're just starting out, like a niche definitely helps, and then you get really good at it because people search for very specific things on YouTube. So like, I mean, again, I'll use skateboarding as an example. I mean, if you search for like how to kickflip or how to do like a certain trip or certain trick or whatever, skateboard vlogging, then I'm sure Ronnie will come up, among with other people. But if you were to just search like, oh, daily vlog, I mean, you're gonna get tons and tons of results
For sure.
in the YouTube page. And then if you don't feel like you want to be in a niche or a niche, whatever, then I think that's fine too. But I think finding success in kind of like going that route is difficult because you need to already kind of be at the top where you have a lot of exposure already, for people to be really even interested enough in what your like daily life looks like or whatever else you're interested in.
Well, I agree with the both of you. I mean, if you look at my YouTube channel, it's a mess. You don't even know what I'm doing. So I think having this Helpdesk podcast and this whole theme is going to help me kind of crack down on that, which is first of all, trying to help others creatively kind of create their own career, right? Out of being able to use a camera, take photos, take videos, edit. And it's to document what I'm doing as well. Like, I've always wanted to quote unquote like be a social media influencer and just kind of do that. I mean, and another tip I would give is consistency. Like, I watch a lot of YouTube, and the people who are successful or are finding success are those who post constantly. Shout outs to A. Miller, who started his YouTube channel recently doing gun club builds. He's got
Twitch.
And his Twitch. Let's not forget that. I'll have that link down below. I'm gonna have a lot of links down below.
Angelo's
for sure.
Twitch. A. Miller's Twitch.
That's it, man.
There's
the
gun club
man.
builds on there as well.
Yeah, exactly. So he's got his niche, whatever you want to call it. He's posting consistently, and he's got a very high level of B-roll edits as well. I'm like, dude, didn't you just say you started? Like, that's not what my videos look like when I started. And to be honest, a couple of years later, they're still not looking that good. So I think he's got his editing on point as well as his music choice. Music is huge, right? I mean, you guys would know that more than anybody. Like, I've seen your vlogs, I've seen your videos. You always choose the right song. Oh, that's a good point. Sorry, I'm all over the place, but music, if you don't have a budget for signing up, subscribing to one of these services that give you free music, you know, what's your hot tip for finding music or choosing music, actually? Because I've noticed, like, when something's sad playing, you have like really somber music. When something funny is happening, you got this upbeat tempo. You know, what are a few tips you can give around music for people who are just starting out?
Take the L.
Take
the L, and by that I mean, like, yeah, like, take the L, like, just use whatever music you want, because you really don't have anything to lose at that point. You know, you're starting out. I mean, sure, you're not gonna get that video's not gonna get monetized, and you may or may not get a copyright strike, but at least, like, you made a video, you know.
Dude, that's actually really good advice, because I'm stuck in the mindset like, oh man, I don't want to do anything wrong. I don't want this copyright strike. But to be honest, if you're just starting out, you're most likely, to be real, you won't be making money, right? Unless you somehow blow up, which is like winning the lottery. Wow, taking the L, Andy, bro. Damn, someone clip that, please.
I disagree.
Oh,
Like, completely. I think there's a lot of free resources out there for people with non-copyright music. Like YouTube Studio has hundreds of tracks that you can choose from, provided to you by YouTube, and you know you're allowed to use those on the platform, along with other free websites that have it. So you may not necessarily find a song that fits 100%, but if it fits 90-95% of the feel that you're going for, you can use that. But also, music is important depending on the type of content you make. Like, I've seen like hour-long videos with no soundtrack at all, and they're just the most entertaining thing. Like a guy just fishing for an hour, no music. He's just talking to the camera. I think as long as you can hear something, either someone talking or a fire crackling or something, you've seen those 10-hour-long edits. Like, you're good. As long as there's no dead space, it's not just too quiet, you're fine. Again, it really just depends on the type of content you're making when it goes to music.
Yeah, for sure. And
don't just go like gung-ho with music. Like, you know, coming from, I guess, my type of videos, like, music is really there to help accompany like your story and kind of like take it to where you want it to go. So just like choose music that makes sense.
Dude, damn, Andy, blessing this podcast with some knowledge bombs right now, bro. I appreciate you. And also, just wanted to give a shout out to the Stoke Squad. I can't read the staff chat right now, but you guys have made my 2020. From not having a job from April onwards, I seem to have just stuck around with you guys. Well, check out, again, link down below, all our Twitch channels. We are always playing Warzone, having a blast. These guys are hilarious. I wouldn't have 2020 any other way, COVID-19 and all. But yeah, let's just continue. So, gear and making do. So one thing I've noticed, particularly with Ronnie, bro, you have some crazy stuff going on your channel with your with all your skateboards antics and whatnot. But one thing in particular that I want to talk about is your 360 setup. That's pure genius. You cut up the headphones and then you put the dead cat on it, and also what you did with the speedometer, and your phone and syncing that up, bro. That just brings your video quality from like at an already high level to like even higher, because you don't get that clean audio doing 360 videos. Everyone knows this. Like if you have a GoPro and you try to record yourself, it's gonna sound like trash unless you've got an external mic plugged in, right? So just talk about like again, you're starting off like, what did you start off with? Were you just using your phone? Were you using a GoPro? Did you specifically buy a camera for YouTube?
So let's I guess go with when I first started YouTube, I had a Sony Webby HD that I bought on Craigslist for $40.
Isn't that the vloggy camera? Or
it's like a vloggy camera. It was purple. I glued a fisheye onto it because I was just filming a bunch of skate stuff. Because it didn't have like the rings that you could put like a lens cap on.
Yeah.
It was just so I had to glue the attachment on there. But now I actually use my phone and just a Canon mirrorless camera for everything, alongside with the Insta360. And I'm glad that you think that the quality is high, because the reason why I did that was because if you really know me, you know how lazy I am, and doing that was like the easiest way to film my type of content, because I didn't have to worry too much about setting up different angles or anything. I literally just hold the camera on a stick and go, so I can just focus on what I'm doing, and I don't have to worry about placing a camera down anywhere or holding like a long tripod trying to get the angle. And then the reason why I did the speedometer is because people think I lie in my reviews. They think I inflate. They think I inflate my results when it comes to how fast I go or how far I go. So like I was like, here, it's in your face. I'm not lying. This is it.
That's dope. To do it. Yo, actually, Andy, I see you, bro. I know you started off with the iPhone 6 with 16 gigabytes, bro. And now if you were to look at Andy's videos, oh my goodness, fam, the edits are unreal. Talk about like, does gear make a difference, or what? I mean,
yes. And I know a lot of filmmakers will tell you otherwise, and that so they go by this mantra that story is king. Yes, that is 100% true. Absolutely. But that's such a downer, I feel like, for a beginner, because like I heard that too, and you know, I get all these like awesome, like crazy filmmakers like telling everyone like, oh hey, your gear doesn't matter, just whatever you have, use that. I'm like, yes, that's true, use it. But I think on some level that can be kind of discouraging, because what you want is to be able to learn more about the process, whether it's story making or knowing how to like to use your camera. Like those are all important things just as much as being able to tell the story. And so it's a weird space, because I don't feel like I'm at the level where I can say that story is 100% king just yet. Even though I absolutely I believe it, I don't know if I can apply it yet. So not in the way that I want to, not in the way that I would imagine that I can depict it in the best way. So having the gear and then kind of like in your head, like convincing yourself, okay, I have this fancy ass camera, I got to go out and do something with it. Like I spent like $2-3 grand on these lenses and this camera and whatever, and then you don't want to just like sitting around. At least that's how I saw it. So I would take that opportunity to kind of grab it and go out and do something, and then learn about making a story there. And if it doesn't turn out great, whether it's in the editor when you're posting it or whatever, then at least you tried. You know, you learned it. I think getting gear is a really big motivator for most people, myself included. I don't know about most people, but definitely for myself, it was to really learn about, you know, the real art behind the process.
I think I would agree with you there, especially with the type of content that you like to make, sort of more filmmaker style, almost commercial. It's almost evolved into a commercial type of video in terms of it could sell. You could sell things with it. It's clean. It's easy to watch. It's very digestible. But then there's also the merit that where gear doesn't matter if you're uploading on YouTube. Also, like you've seen, I'm sure there's a million channels out there with a million subscribers that all either film on a GoPro or an iPhone.
Oh yeah.
I guess it kind of just depends on what you want to do, but like with more advanced gear, it can, like Andy says, take your skills, your technical skills with how to use a camera to the next level. Like you wouldn't necessarily know how to shoot all manual with a GoPro when all you're doing is strapping it to your head and going mountain biking. When you can learn the ins and outs of whatever camera you have, how it looks with certain lenses and certain lights. When you do use more advanced gear, I say.
Mm-hmm. And if I can interject, I mean, again, like with gear, it's like these are tools, you know, and if you don't know how to use them, then what's the point?
Yeah.
So if you can, okay, having a creative mind is really is interesting, because when you get creative ideas, they're kind of just like fly by and they're hard to catch. So the more that you you understand how to use your gear, the better that road, the less of that roadblock is in the way. So if you have this cool like creative idea and then you want to execute it, and then you don't know how to use your camera, then like what can you do, you know? So like having those capabilities and knowing how to use your stuff really helps. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, dude, that was a great answer, guys. Wow. You know what? And with those tools now, you both are working on projects together. Like, I mean, this is just stuff I see in the Discord. Like, I think Ronnie, you were doing the edit for some real estate property, right? Someone's rental, or is that something that you two were working on together?
I don't like doing those, but I can do it because those things are easy to me. Oh, it's getting kind of warm over here.
It's getting kind of spicy, bro.
Hard, man. We grinding and we sweating, getting all sweaty. But yeah, I started it out. I don't do that a lot. Andy does it more than I, and he kind of brought me along onto that. So, what was your question?
Yeah, so it's just like using your tools and your skills that you've built up through all that hustle and grind to like make a side hustle out of it, to kind of monetize it, to, you know, earn a dollar, earn a coin. You know,
right.
I don't know if that was a question. I think I was just speaking out loud, which is what I usually do. I just talk out loud. But I mean, yeah, you're totally right. It's like you have these tools and you want to learn how to use it to its max potential, right? You're not just going to leave it on auto or autofocus like mine and it's hunting, you know. And so
creative ideas are fleeting things, man.
Yeah,
you got to catch them when you can.
And that being said, you want to make it as easy as possible for you to do that as well. I mean, it's like your workstation, right? You're going to want to have all those tools right in front of you so you don't have any excuses. You're exactly right. You don't want any roadblocks ahead of you. All right, what else do I have on my list?
But on to the subject of our side hustles, just a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure.
Doing what we've done on YouTube, because there's a lot more to YouTube than turning on a camera, posting on YouTube. There's thumbnails, learning how to use the whole Adobe suite, pretty much. And what I've learned from YouTube with like using those programs, I was able to use those skills to a business that I started. Flippy Booth, it's a photo booth company out here in DC, or like the DC area, and I use Adobe Illustrator on there all the time, and I would not know half of the things that I'm doing on there without like first tinkering around with Photoshop and trying to learn how to make thumbnails, and then helping Andy out with full frame or capturing the homes. I don't think you ask anyone else to do that because no one really knows how to use a camera. I mean, I'm not saying like I'm well versed in shooting, but I know a bit. I know enough to at least provide something that the client is sort of expecting.
I'm actually glad you mentioned Flippy Booth. I had that on my list of things to talk about. How did you guys even, you know, learn how to market yourselves as someone who could you know, do whatever service or business, you know, what gave you that idea? I know that you were working in events and you're already doing photo booths, but like, how did you start? Like, I know it's a very broad question, but
Oh, I can answer that easily. So I did start working for a photo booth company. They're nationwide. They'd send me out all over the country to do events, which was cool. And I noticed how much they were charging for people to stand in front of a touchscreen and take their own pictures. They were charging thousands of dollars to do that. And I was like, I knew the equipment enough to where I was like, I could make this myself for a fraction of the cost, charge a bit less, and still make money out of it. And I just dove deep into YouTube, sort of used what I learned from YouTube with like how to start a business and how to market yourself, what to do. Basically, the photo booth business is very saturated. Basically, all of the event space, you kind of have to already have a name and a couple of clients under your belt to generate business. But I couldn't really find anything like what I wanted to do, where it was all digital. Because when you think of photo booths, I think of like the old school. You hop in a booth. It's like 4 feet by 4 feet wide, and you take a picture. And I wanted to make something a little bit different. It's not an original idea at all. Like, I found it on the internet. People have done it before, but no one's really doing it here. And I thought I could be that guy in this area for that business.
Hey, from what I saw on your website, it looks pretty damn successful to me, man. It's just unfortunate that this year's events have slowed you down. But
it's all good.
with you,
Andy actually helps me out with that business quite a bit. We've done an event where Bernie Sanders was.
What?
Yeah, he showed up. So it was right after like the midterm elections, when they had just elected like the new House and Senate.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like an after party, and actually a couple of Congress what was it? There's a couple of 3 important people, but there's 2 out of the 3 of like the more famous, I guess, like women, the Congress women that showed up. I think Ilhan Omar, and then I forget the other girl's name, but AOC was not there, which is kind of a bummer. That would have been great. But Bernie Sanders, this dude just walks into the bar. Bernie Sanders walks into a bar. And it was literally
a bar, mind you. Like, it's a pretty small bar.
Yeah. And so they were doing like a lot of the congratulatory speeches and things like that. It was crazy. Like, this dude looks exactly like he looks on TV. And hair just crazy, and his glasses, and just talking with his hands.
Yo, shout out to Bernie Sanders. We appreciate you, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, so talk to us about Full Frame DC. Like, what is it? How did you get started? And how are you marketing yourself to the masses?
So before I did Full Frame, I worked a part-time job along with my full-time job, but I worked a part-time job for Voice of America, which is a
Indonesian.
Is an Indonesian, but it's an American broadcasting like thing. It's part of the government. It's federally funded, and I had a contract with them for 2 years, and in our division we broadcasted specifically to Indonesia, and that's where I picked up a lot of my storytelling skills and on the fly editing, because everything was always go, especially with journalism. Like, it can be hard, but once you get used to kind of the pace, then it's not terrible. And I feel like that's something that I think is very valuable in anyone who wants to be able to jump into any sort of storytelling. Anyways, so I did that for 2 years. My contract ended, and then after my contract ended, I was like, oh, well, what do I do now? Like, I don't have this like extra income anymore. What can I do? Like, I have all these new skills that I picked up. So I wanted to get into actually wedding photography and videography. Well, not photography, but videography. But weddings are very intimidating. So I was like, let me go shoot houses instead. Because at least the houses don't get mad at you. What's that?
Houses can't be bridezillas.
Exactly.
Well,
So I started marketing my business at the time, or I guess it's still a business, but as a real estate videography company to kind of help actually a lot of our our new realtor friends. They had just become realtors, they got their licenses. Shoot, video for their listings to post on their social media, which I really appreciate. I'm glad that people recognize to use social media for their businesses. So I hopped on that. And I've been doing that, I think, for a little bit over a year and a half now. It's been going pretty well. And next year, actually, I'm already starting to book weddings for next year. I feel like I'm very comfortable doing that now. So
are they going to be same day edits, or are they just gonna?
no way, dude. No.
Because that's the thing, right? Oh my gosh, it's crazy. You need a whole team to do that, man. But hey, man, I'm really excited for you guys. Is it just you, or is it Ronnie as well, or?
Right now it's just me. Ronnie has actually done a couple of shoots for me on my behalf on days that I couldn't do them. So yeah, we help each other a lot with our businesses.
Homies.
Respective businesses.
Yeah,
That's it, man.
nice.
I mean, I've seen you guys work together in Call of Duty Warzone, so I know you got that chemistry.
It's a different kind of chemistry, man.
No, I'm just kidding. So yeah, you know what? I'm just thinking here, like, once COVID is over, and after doing this, like, I might even have a job soon, so I don't even know if I'll be able to continue this. I really hope so, but like, this kind of inspires me, like, talking to you guys and seeing what you're doing, hustling. It just makes me want to go out there and kind of do my own thing. And like I've always said, I'm like, dude, I can make these videos on food. Like, people go to a cafe and they start shooting and they get food free. I'm like, dude, I can do that. I know how to.
I'm telling you, dude, cycling videos.
Yeah, it's
Like,
funny.
put a
Funny you say that.
or an Insta360 on your bike or on your head and just ride around.
Dude, be the me of biking.
So, yeah,
Honestly.
I've thought about that
That's a
because
good model.
Dude, I promise you will get a Super 73 by like the end of the year.
because I'm not like, I like to ride my bikes, but I'm not that knowledgeable on it. Like, running the one
Hey,
thing.
hey, I knew nothing about electric skateboards. I still barely know how they work. And hey, look at where I'm at.
You know what? That's true, man. That is true. I think I should. And like, I've been saying it for years, because that's actually another reason why I started seeing all these vlogging videos, because you know that Red Hook Crit? Do you guys know about that? It's in New York. It's like this
Oh yeah.
it's a fixed gear race, a track bike race around this track in New York. But anyway, so like, I watched a YouTube video on that, and this guy, and oh dude, I can't even remember his name right now. Anyways, he done a whole bunch of YouTube videos on cycling around London, and this was at the time when I just moved back home. I'm like, oh damn, man, I miss London. And then I saw him grow from like 10,000 now, like from 5,000 to 10,000. Now it's like 100,000 plus. And dude, all he does, he's a full-time YouTuber now. And it's literally just him cycling around, talking to his cycling friends about what gear they use. They travel to different countries and cycle. I'd love to do that, but like, let's be honest, I'm not as fit as him. He was a professional cyclist, so he actually knew what he was doing.
That's cool though. That you're. I mean, you being not as fit as him kind of makes it a little more relatable.
It's the journey, right?
It's the journey, like, and people can watch and they can join you. Like I post skateboarding and I'm nowhere near a pro. Like, I'm not even good. I suck.
Hey, you skateboard
And,
with John Hill, bro.
Yeah. Like, he's an actual professional skateboarder, and when I see him do stuff, it's a little unrelatable. I can imagine myself doing it, but I mean, it'll take a lot of effort to actually do something like that. But if I were to watch you, I'm like, oh, I'm not too far off from that. Like, I can relate to this guy. Like, let me follow this journey real quick.
Yo, you know what? All right, I'm gonna start vlogging again. I really am. After like just watching your old vlogs, Andy and Ronnie, I'm just like, man, it's just fun to look back at the memories. If I don't get any like quote unquote success in terms of money, I don't think it really matters, because I was watching my old travel vlogs and I'm like, Yeah, this was fun, man. It's just fun to look back on, and it's sick to look back on as well, right? You're like, oh damn, that's a pretty nice edit, right?
Yeah.
So
Just be proud of yourself, man.
yeah, for sure. All right, guys. So like, what future projects do you have going on? Andy, you just said you're going to be doing weddings. Are you, like either together, separately? What do you have in mind, or what's going on?
So I have a couple weddings booked for next year. So I'm kind of trying to mentally prep myself. It's good because I have a whole year to prep myself for this stuff. Trying to get that ready. I have a list of like gear that I need to pick up.
Ooh,
And it's not a lot. I mean, it's like
Flash,
it's like maybe one
light.
microphone that I need, but that's about it. So there's that. I'm actually getting another video ready for my personal YouTube channel.
Hey,
It's about chicken nuggets.
hey man, I'm all
And
about that.
You'll see what that's all about. Hopefully by sometime next week.
Awesome! Can't wait, can't wait. And you, Ronnie?
Well, since COVID-19 and all that, I had to take a full-time job in order to pay the bills, so I haven't been able to concentrate on as much on YouTube. But I'm still doing a couple of videos every month, about every week or every other week. I think what I want to do is I kind of want to pivot. I want to try to go with quote unquote lower quality videos and just do like long
Yeah.
GoPro style video of just out and about doing whatever. Of course, I'll still like actual edits, trying to make it look pretty. But I want to see where that goes, because I think that with the way YouTube is evolving, long form content, whether people pay attention to it or not, is doing really well. Some people will watch an hour-long video. Some people will just want to have it on their second screen as background noise while they work. And I kind of want to see what would happen to my channel if I started to do that kind of thing. And it makes it easy.
I think right now is the perfect time for that because everyone's working from home.
Exactly.
You just put up whatever you want on your screen and you won't get in trouble.
Well, you know what? I was actually thinking about this for you because I watched your Jay Boston podcast, and I didn't want to overlap too much with what you guys covered there. But in terms of streaming, I had an idea. It's a pretty janky setup, but it will work for you. So you've got OBS open, you've got your Discord on your phone, maybe not using a 360 live camera. I know that's what you really wanted to do, but hear me out here. You got Discord running your video. That goes back to your computer that has Discord. And then OBS is capturing that. And then you set up a bot that reads out your comments. So when anyone types anything on your Twitch or whatever it is that you're going live, it reads it out to you while you're on your skateboard. Yeah. I mean, that's one way you can do it. You've done a lot of other jankier stuff. That's right.
I already got lost with the whole setup. It sounds too complicated for me.
I can talk to you about it offline, but man, it was in my head. I'm like, dude, this will work. It might not be pretty, but it'll work.
I like simple and like if it's so complicated that it won't make me want to do it, I won't do it. The reason why I have the setup I have now, and the reason why I kind of want to move into the long form, easy to film content, is because it's easy to film and easy to do, which will make me want to do it. Because there's lots of times where I'm like, all right, got to film this video, and I'm like, thinking about I got to set up the camera here, set up the lights, do all this, set up extra audio recording equipment, get an angle of this, get an angle of that, and I'm like, I'll do it tomorrow.
Damn.
And then the same thing happens over and over again, and I end up pushing it back months, literally months. If you were to look at my Gmail, like all these companies messaging me about different types of equipment they want to send me, I have not replied back. I'm so sorry. It's just I keep pushing things back, and I want to make things
love hate. Everyone has a love-hate relationship with like gear, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it can be an obstacle, but it can also like be your best friend. It sucks.
But again, and that like little extra effort though, that's what makes some videos go from like average tier to like just hit it out the ballpark. Like simple shots where you walk past the camera, like you know, some people don't realize you got to set that up and you got to pick that back up again, right? But
Yeah.
it's that it adds to the storytelling, and so like you can definitely tell when someone's put in that little bit of extra love. But let's start to wrap this up, guys. Let's just ask some random questions to end this. Well, not really random, but like, you know, what are you watching on Netflix right now, or what? Yeah, let's start off with that.
I'm watching anime.
Yeah, which
Right now,
one?
I'm watching Pokemon Journeys on
Oh,
Netflix.
nice, man. Hey, I
And I'm also
respect that.
watching Konosuba, Grand Blue. What else? What other anime?
Man.
Toradora,
Damn, bro, this is a lot.
K-On! Watching a lot of anime right
That's
now,
a lot,
bro.
bro. Like, I try to stick to one anime because I don't want to get lost in it all.
You know what's crazy? I hardly watch YouTube. I haven't clicked my subscriptions button in like months or even a year.
Dude, you're
Like
like
I don't
62.
watch anyone I'm subscribed to.
The people that you're. Okay, gotcha.
I'm subscribed to. I just watch whatever's in like the first 8 of my recommended.
Mhm.
If I don't see anything I like, I'll hit refresh, and that's what I watch.
Oh,
Is that weird? You guys do that? Do you guys watch
bro?
people?
I go down the rabbit hole. I keep on just like scrolling till I eventually land on something. How about you, Andy? What's your Netflix show or whatever that you're watching right now?
I've been watching. I actually started Madam Secretary yesterday.
Ooh.
And it's about this woman who gets appointed to become the Secretary of State by the president himself. I mean, I guess who else would do that? It's interesting. I like I like a lot of boring things on Netflix, like
That's okay.
political things on Netflix. It's weird. Yeah, that's me. Oh, and my wife and I, we are actually rewatching Grey's Anatomy.
Nice.
Well, she's
nice.
rewatching. I'm kinda just
McSteamy,
walking in.
McDreamy.
Yeah, she's rewatching. I'm walking in and just picking up wherever.
Hey, it's
she
okay
left
if you
off,
like
'cause
Grey's
I've
Anatomy,
already-
bro.
No. I've watched the whole thing on my own. I will tell you now. I'll admit it. It's a great show.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. And so, what kind of music you guys have in rotation at the moment?
I have a lot of K-pop on right now.
I also have been listening to a lot of K-pop because my girlfriend listens to a lot. But I'm mainly like 90%, 95% of the time listening to a podcast.
Mhm.
I don't really listen to music too much. Like whenever I go for a drive or if I'm sitting at my desk at work, it's always a podcast playing.
Yeah, who you...
Start one of those, dude.
Yeah, I should. A high quality one where my mic doesn't go out would be a awesome podcast, I bet. Well,
Yeah.
guys, again, this is Ronnie Sarmiento and Andy Masfar. Sorry if I butchered it, Andy. That's why I asked you earlier. I was like, I'm not too sure, but man, I just want to say a big shout out to you guys. Thanks for joining me on the Helpdesk podcast. Hopefully, we captured some things that can help the people who are listening to this podcast. And if you did make it to the end, do me a favor and type in hashtag Stoke Squad, and that will let me know that you made it all the way here. So again, thank you to these two awesome gentlemen, and check them out. Flippy Booth, Ronnie Sarmiento. We got Full Frame DC, Andy Masfar on YouTube. And you know what? I'm going to go deep diving for that music channel, bro. Or you can just tell me straight up what it is later on.
It's literally in the Discord. Like, there's a video already there.
Woo, let's go. All right. Thank you, everyone, for watching. And I'm going to end this now. All right. Peace. Have a good night or a good day, whatever it is for you. See you.